So hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in this week's episode of the Empowerment Empire Show. So today I have the pleasure of speaking with the lovely Charlene Trinsi. Charlene is living in Sweden at the moment, originally from Brazil, and she is a branding strategist. She's also got a background in fashion, design and photography. So this is going to be an incredible episode for you to listen into if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about exactly how branding can help you transform your business. So if this is your first time listening to the show, my name is Lisa and I'm your host for the Empowerment Empire Show, and it's fabulous to have you here. So let's welcome Charlene to the show. Hi, Charlene.
Hello, I'm very excited. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, no problem at all. It's lovely to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your super busy schedule to join us. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Good. So before we get started, and I have a list of questions that I'm super excited about asking you. Before we get into all of those questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, your background, and how you really came about your passion now as a branding strategist?
So I'm from Brazil, as you said, and I started since very small. I started drawing, and fashion was one of my passions. It still is. And I went to fashion school, and when you're in fashion school, you see that it's a very, very crazy, and it's a huge world of everything. It's photography, it's marketing, it's everything. And I really love it. And I even worked as a fashion designer for a store in Brazil.
Wow.
But then I moved to Iceland, and then when I moved to Iceland, I couldn't work with fashion because I used to live in a small town. So I start to give that update to my skills. And the only thing I could do it was learn from the internet because everything was far away and very cold. So I started to learn graphics. And I was learning graphic design, and even went later on when we moved to Reykjavik, the big town, I went to the graphic school. But then when more I learned about graphics, I realized that I need to know photography so I could have better graphics, better understanding of lighting and everything. So I went to learn photography, and it was very nice. It was one of the very big passions because of all the creativity that goes around. And building up scenarios and building up the story behind the photography and all that. So I start to work more with photography. Then I moved to Sweden, and I start to make some photographer people around. And it was when I decided to study marketing, because if I had to make it work, my business from home. And at that time, I had my baby, when I moved to Sweden, I was pregnant. So it was like, okay, I will build this business with a small baby. So how can I make it work? So I went to the internet again to learn systems, to learn everything about marketing and how to attract clients. And it was very nice. It gave me this very big range of skills then, because then I start to learn more about social media. And I start to get some freelancers as a social media manager, since I was home anyway, and it is a work that you can do remote. And by then I realized every time when you talk to a client about social media, about strategies, all that, and you ask about the branding, it's when it comes, like, okay, how do you want to be represented? How do you want me to make the graphics and stuff? And a lot of people, they really don't know. Some people just say, oh, I don't know, it's like fun, or like I have my colors, or I have my logo. And branding is not just that, it's a little bit more, it's about the message and everything. So it was when I started to get more clients into the full branding thing, and helping out with starting the brand and how to be consistent with that. and how to like give at least that jump start that they need to build up a brand and start their business.
Yeah. Fantastic, because that's quite a few things that I'm actually going to be asking you about today that I'm, yes, absolutely, that I'm also interested in finding out more about. And I know that if I'm interested in it, then I know that the people listening to the podcast will certainly be looking for answers to some of these questions as well. So, Charlene, you briefly mentioned about branding isn't just about the logo, it isn't just about the colours. So what exactly is it? What is branding, and what does it mean for your business or our business, or whoever's listening into the show? What does it mean for their business?
I think the first thing when you're building a business, you have an idea, and the first thing that comes to your mind is the logo, right? Like, I have to have a logo and I have to have a website. That's branding. Or sometimes people think, oh, branding, it's just for big companies like Walmart or Apple or something like Nike. You know, branding is just so big. No, I'm just gonna get a logo and a website and that's it. And branding is actually way more deep. You know, it's a whole, I like to say that it's a whole process of combining your message with your business. You know, why? Because even though I have seen no business who has no logos, and they do, you know, get to succeed at least in the beginning, and then they go make a logo and go make a website and something, because your message is important. You know, like, what do you want people to know about your business? You know, for instance, let's say you have a record label and you want to record young artists looking to show their real talent, not being portrayed on the, no, like, have to be skinny, have to be, you know, this kind of girly beautiful or something. Okay, let's say you want something different, you want to portray that. So your message has to be very big on that part. Way more important than to have like a very beautiful logo where people are just going to, of course, it gives you the authority on the field, but your message, it's what is going to drive all this all these people, you know, all your audience to you and see, oh, look at this record label. They, you know, they are putting out amazing artists, and they are all out of the pattern that we are, you know, used to. That isn't that amazing? And then people start to look more and more, you know? So I like to say it's always a combination of your message, the experience that you provide, and your product or service.
Excellent. So how would people that's maybe just starting out on their business journey, or even in fact relaunching their business, if they want to you know, relaunch their business or just get their initial message out there, what would you say is the best way for them to get started on a budget, if you like?
Okay. You mean, then by that you mean the visuals, right?
Their visuals, yes, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, then it's brand identity. It's a little bit different. One thing I would start by would be with a message, and like, think about what solutions are you offering for these people. If I have to tell someone, if I have to refer you, Lisa, to someone, how can I refer you, you know, in one sentence? You don't have to explain a lot of what you do, you know, like, oh, Lisa takes you from this to this.
Right.
You know, Lisa makes you do this. She will solve this problem, you know. So you're thinking of that. Then you go to the visuals. And the visuals can be now, of course, with the internet, it can be very fun and easy to at least put together some things. I like to use Canva, that I think is one of the most famous. It's Canva, but they also have like PicMonkey and Adobe Spark that are all softwares that help you with graphics. They're all free. No, I think PicMonkey, you have to pay. There is a free version also. I don't know. I don't use a lot PicMonkey. I use Canva free. There's also the paid version that it's not expensive at all. I think it's about $10 a month. It is worth it if you don't have any Photoshop skills. I would recommend paying, because I pay Photoshop. So that's the difference why I don't use it. So if I need something with a transparent background, okay, for instance, let's say you make your name and you want a transparent background to put somewhere. With Canva paid, you can do that, but the free version you can't. So
okay. So can you explain what Canva is, just in a little bit more detail, for anybody who hasn't heard about it before? What can they do with this
absolutely
platform?
Canva.com, it's kind of like a graphic designer 24/7 there for you. It's very easy. You get in there and you have layouts there, ready. You have photos, you have icons, you have kind of fonts that you can use. And if you don't have the skills to even change, you can just take already some layout that it's ready and just put your information. It's all editable. So you click on the font, you can change the font, but even if you don't want to even touch on that, you can just delete the word and put your name, put the date of event, or anything that you want to write on it. It's very easy to use. It's very I would say beginners friendly, let's say like that.
Excellent. So would you say that that's a great way for people to get started? So obviously if they perfect their message, so they know what their message is and they know what they're trying to get across to their potential clients or customers, they start making some images or having a go at building a logo or some form of visuals on Canva. What about their social media, Charlene? How can they get started on social media, building their presence online?
Okay, I will complement a little bit of the last question also. For instance, you have your message, then you start to make your graphics. And then you have to have this consistent about your message with your graphics, right? So think about like that. Let's say you are a baker and you are only baking healthier cookies. Something like that. You found a recipe that's gluten-free, that it's maybe sugar-free, something like that, and you want to take leverage of that. I would go to the Pexels or Pixabay. There are stock photos websites that are free. Always use free stock photos, please. Don't go to Google and just Google and take an image. That can get you in trouble for copyrights, So always go to either Pixabay or Pexels, and then go there and write something about that. Cooking or cookies or baking, health. You're going to start to find images that you think that it relates to what you are trying to show these people. So you can save this image, and then when you're going to make your graphics, you can use those images to make your graphics. So this will give you some certain consistency on your message, trying to portray that message to the visuals. And then when you go to social media, every social media is different and has a kind of, has different audiences. Let's say I like Facebook because it's very complete. You have text, you have video, you have this chat there, you have everything, right? And then let's say if you start by having Facebook's the one that has a cover for groups, that has cover for pages, and you can share graphics and videos. So try to make those graphics with those images, similar for your social media. This is one of the steps to be consistent with the visuals. Let's say you made a graphic to talk about some sale that you are selling, making a box with 12 cookies, for, I don't know, $10 or something just for this month. And then people will, okay, oh, that's nice. And then they might see that and they want to go to your page, and then your cover and your information has to be according to the image and everything that it was on your promo. And then another thing I would say, it is research a little bit about your audience, and then try to stick with one social media at a time, so you don't get overwhelmed. Let's say Facebook, I think, brands a lot of ages Instagram is a little bit more, I would say a little bit more young people, not as much, but maybe let's say it will go from maybe, from teenagers up. But for instance, if you go to Snapchat, maybe your audience is not there because maybe I feel that Snapchat is way more for teenagers. And then maybe they are not into buying your cookies, the healthy cookies, some kind of thing. So I always research about what platforms are your people hanging out, kind of thing. So you will start by that one. And then when you see that you got, a little bit of movement there, then you jump to the next one and then the next one until you can have all of them, of course.
So recommend starting off with one and really getting to know that and understand it, but making sure that it is where your audience is hanging out ultimately, because you don't want to be wasting time on a social media platform that your target audience aren't using.
Yes. And one important thing, it's when you build your business, if you have a specific name, even if it's your name or any name, go to all platforms and claim the name. Because even if you're not using that moment, later on, if you might use and someone got the name, it's, it breaks the chain, let's say like that. For instance, I had my name in all my platforms, as Chatrins, in all of them. And I can also have Charlene Trinsi. But I cannot have my emails like that because someone got it. I have no idea how someone would have exactly the same name, but someone got Charlene, like Charlene Trinsi at gmail.com. So it's not me, but someone has that, So one thing, it's very nice. It's always go to all platforms, claim, make account, claim the name, and that's it. Just keep the password, keep everything, but at least it's yours in the future.
That's a good top tip. Absolutely.
And if for some reason you can't, maybe try, let's say in your case, Lisa Official or Lisa, the podcast from Lisa, try to put something that it still has your name on it, but shows that you are the official account, so people don't pass by you or something like that.
Perfect. So just expanding on social media a little bit more, if that's okay. I know that when people are trying to raise awareness of their brand, whether it be visually or through their message, how can they stay consistent in their message on social media? For example, how often should they be posting? What type of things should they be posting? How can they remain consistent across these social media platforms? Because I know that can be a struggle for some. Just through speaking to other people, I know that it's a struggle for other business owners.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. And I get this question also a lot, like, oh, should I post someone else's content on my account? And the answer is a lot of times yes, because sometimes these big accounts or some viral content has everything to do with your business in a way that you can use as an example, you can use as an inspiring moment, so it's always nice. You can use some other content. I have recently done this 30 days of ideas for social media. And there you find things like, you can have like quotes, you can have, then always go for it with quotes that has something to do with your industry. For instance, let's say you are wedding planner, so quotes about love, quotes about the family, everything that has something to do with that, party, ideas for decoration on the niche of wedding ceremonies and stuff like that. And it doesn't have to be exactly your content. You can share from others, but just be sure that has something to do with the weddings if you are working as a wedding planner.
So that's about staying consistent then, isn't it? In your message.
Yeah, of course, because sometimes it's hard to make content all the time. But then also one thing that's very important, it's planning your content. If like now I'm planning the whole March content, because as as soon as you sit down and you take, like, it takes you no more than maybe 2 hours, go through your photos, your business model, everything. Try to think about what are the questions maybe that someone would ask, like that, maybe, okay, I'm a wedding planner. Sometimes people ask about venues on the budget. I will, make a content like that. Okay, today I'm going to share 3 venues on the budget that, any wedding can be amazing, and put some photos that I have done there. So make the content ahead, and then go to, if you're using Facebook now has a scheduler, right? If you're not, you can use like Hootsuite or Groom, that are tools to schedule your social media posts. But just go and schedule the whole week, or even if you can, schedule the whole month. But if you cannot, schedule the whole week, and if you say, oh, I could only have the time to make 3 posts by myself, so okay, schedule the 3 posts. Put, let's say, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on the Thursday and on the Tuesday and Thursday, you share someone else's content, like I just said, something that it's relevant to your audience.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great top tip as well. And I actually schedule my posts too, because I think sometimes you can get yourself so caught up in other things, and you get so busy, and before you know it, it's the end of the day, and you're thinking, oh, I've not actually posted anything in social media, and you're rummaging around trying to collect something to post up. So if you've got the scheduled posts and they're all there ready to go, it means that they automatically upload whether you're logged on or not. So it's fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it seems very, how to say, it's very simple, but a lot of people haven't thought about that on this way, because they think it's not okay to share other people's posts or something, and they really think they have to be producing all these posts on that time, and it's not always like that. And you're not lying to your audience. Everybody understand that everybody's busy, even news goes out before we know, right? So some things can go wrong during the day, like you said, or so always have something. And if you have more content, of course, just go and post it more. But if at least you don't, at least 1 post a day you have there.
Perfect. I'm wondering if there was anything else that I was wanting to ask. I feel as if I could sit here all day and just ask you question after question after question, because it's such a branding and strategy and social media and, your message and visuals. It's such a massive subject, and it's something that when you think business, this is what you think about.
Yeah, right.
So especially so now. Questions.
Especially now, everything is digital, everything is online. So your online presence has to be always up to date, right?
Yes.
I think first thing you see when you're trying to buy something, you go online. You see if the Facebook has bad reviews. You see if Twitter has a lot of followers or something like that, right?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Fantastic. So for everybody listening in today then, Charlene, if they're wanting to reach out to you, if they have got a list of questions, if they're wanting to work with you, if they're wanting some more top tips, how can they find you and reach out to you?
There's my website, charlenetrinsi.com.
Okay.
And there's also my social media. Almost all social medias as either Chatrins, if I can post both, Chatrins and Charlene Trinsi.
Okay.
I think like Instagram, you can, if you write both, you're gonna find, because I put username as one and name as another, so people can find me. Facebook too, and Facebook, it's I think Facebook me-Charlene Trinsi.
Okay.
So just send my message or something like that if you need more information about how to do it.
Yeah, perfect. What I'll do then is I will include these links into the show notes of today's podcast, which means that anyone listening can just click straight on the link and it'll take them straight into your website or your Facebook page, and they can reach out with you that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sounds good. Fabulous.
Yeah. And also, I think they will be able also to see this freebie, the 30 days.
Yes.
You know, it's amazing too. I have been receiving some messages saying, "Oh, that's great, thank you. It was everything I needed to plan my month and have some consistency on the social media platforms." And you can use for any of the platforms, you know, just using the creativity. And like if it's Instagram, using photos, Twitter, using text, you know, just you can mix and match the things there.
Perfect. Fantastic. So quite lots and lots to take away for everyone listening in today. So remember your message, your visuals, being consistent in both your message and your graphics, your visuals, and then of course in social media as well. So there's lots of things that Charlene has touched on, and I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all that with us, Charlene. It's very much appreciated.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me here. And I hope I can, you know, could be of any help, this information. If anyone need more information, please just get in contact. It's like you said, we could be the whole day here talking. There's so much details. There's so many things that it's very nice to talk about. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks once again for joining us, and thank you everyone for listening in. If you're looking for more information on our Empowerment Empire community as well, you can also join us in our Facebook community page, and it is called Empowerment Empire Community. And Charlene is right there in that page as well, so you can even pop over there and connect with Charlene via that page, and you can reach out to her there. So thanks again, everyone. Have an incredible week, and go and get started in all those top tips that you've learned on today's podcast. Take care.